The night is restless. You lie awake, staring at the ceiling, your heart racing from a storm of thoughts, bills, deadlines, the weight of expectations. Your chest tightens as if the world itself is pressing down, and you wonder, how do I find the strength to face tomorrow? Now imagine standing in the heart of ancient Rome. The roar of the Colosseum echoes, not just from lions and gladiators, but from the relentless chaos of empire and politics. A philosopher named Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the known world, scribbles notes to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Or picture another man, centuries earlier, sitting quietly beneath a Bodhi tree in India. His name is Siddhartha, the Buddha. He closes his eyes and sees suffering, desire, and fear dissolve, replaced by a stillness deeper than the ocean. His words whisper through time. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Two paths, two traditions, both pointing to the same question. When life overwhelms us, when anxiety, loss, and pressure pull us apart, what kind of strength do we really need? Stoicism and Buddhism, though born worlds apart, echo like twin rivers. One flows through the marble streets of Greece and Rome, where warriors, politicians, and emperors sought clarity in a violent age. The other flows through the forests and temples of India and Asia, where monks and seekers abandoned luxury in search of liberation. Stoicism teaches, life will throw fire and storms your way, but within you lies a fortress of reason, a mind that cannot be conquered unless you surrender it. Epictetus, once a slave, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Buddhism, in turn, begins with a quiet acknowledgement. Life contains suffering, not to frighten us, but to awaken us. Desire, attachment, anger, these bind us in chains. The Buddha's path was not about resisting life, but releasing it, letting go, to find freedom. Different countenance, different languages, yet both whisper the same promise. True mental strength is not about crushing the world under your will, but transforming how the world touches your mind. Picture life in ancient Rome. The streets are alive with noise, merchants bargaining, soldiers marching, the cries of the poor mixing with the laughter of the rich. Beneath the grandeur of marble columns and sprawling forums, life was unpredictable. A plague could strike, a war could erupt. Your fortune, your family, even your own body could vanish overnight. It was in this uncertainty that Stoicism took root. It was never meant as a lofty theory for philosophers alone. It was practical armor for the mind. Marcus Aurelius, a ruler; Seneca, a wealthy statesman; Epictetus, a man who once wore chains, all turned to Stoicism as a way to endure the chaos of fate. They believed, you cannot control the storms of the world, but you can always control your response. The core was discipline of thought, a reminder that anger, fear, and despair are choices, and that inner calm is possible even in the heart of battle. Now shift the lens eastward, to ancient India. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, was born into luxury, yet he saw sickness, aging, and death. The veil of comfort shattered, and he asked a question that still shakes us. If suffering is inevitable, how do we live in peace? His answer was not to fight the storm, but to see through it, to understand desire, clinging, ego, and to gently let them go. Buddhism taught that freedom lies not in conquering life's hardships, but in dissolving the chains we place upon ourselves. Both traditions arose because humans everywhere faced the same enemy: uncertainty, pain, and fear, and both gave humanity a compass. Stoicism pointed inward to reason and virtue. Buddhism pointed inward to mindfulness and compassion. Different tools, but the same destination: a mind unshaken by the world. Imagine a soldier in the Roman Empire. He's far from home, standing on the cold frontier of Germania. The snow bites his skin, the enemy waits beyond the trees, and tomorrow may never come. In the flickering light of the campfire, he remembers the words of Epictetus: "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself has power over my will." He steadies his breath. Fear loses its grip. Though he cannot control the battle ahead, he can control this moment, his courage, his resolve. That is Stoicism at work. Now, picture a young monk in ancient India. He has left behind wealth, comfort, and family. Sitting cross-legged beneath a tree, he feels hunger gnaw at his body, and doubts swirl like clouds. But instead of resisting, he observes. The hunger, the doubt, the ache in his knees, all rise and fall like waves. He smiles gently, realizing, Suffering is real, but it does not own me. That is Buddhism at work. Fast forward 2,000 years. A woman in New York stares at her phone, scrolling through endless news of layoffs and economic collapse. Anxiety claws at her chest. She remembers Marcus Aurelius' words, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it." She exhales, grounds herself, and writes down what she can control: her effort, her mindset, her next small step. Across the country, a man in Los Angeles goes through a breakup. The silence of the apartment feels unbearable. He recalls a Buddhist teaching: attachment is the root of suffering. Slowly, painfully, he begins to see that his suffering is not only from the loss itself, but from clinging to what is already gone. Through meditation, through letting go, he finds not a quick fix, but a new kind of freedom. Stoicism is the warrior's shield, teaching us to stand firm in the storm. Buddhism is the monk's lamp, teaching us to let the storm pass through. Both are different strategies, but both give us something precious: the ability to face life without collapsing under its weight. What can we carry from marble palaces and silent monasteries into our own world of buzzing phones and endless emails? The wisdom of Stoicism and Buddhism is not meant to sit in dusty books. It is meant to be lived. Control versus release. Stoicism tells us, control what you can, accept what you can't. Buddhism tells us, let go of clinging and suffering dissolves. Together, they remind us that strength is not about bending the world to our will, but about mastering how we meet it. So, when anxiety hits, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, act with courage. If no, release it like smoke from your hands. Daily practice. Marcus Aurelius journaled every morning, reminding himself of virtue, mortality, and humility. Buddhists meditate, training the mind to notice thoughts without being enslaved by them. For us, journaling or meditation can be the anchors in our stormy lives. Just 10 minutes a day can reshape how we meet stress. Reframing suffering. Stoics say obstacles are opportunities to grow. Buddhists say suffering is a teacher pointing us back to the present. Next time hardship strikes, a failed exam, a breakup, a rejection letter, ask, what is this moment teaching me? That question alone transforms pain into fuel. Living with virtue and compassion. Stoicism emphasizes courage, justice, temperance, wisdom. Buddhism emphasizes compassion, mindfulness, loving-kindness. Both remind us, true strength is not cold indifference, but a warm heart guided by clarity. Power without compassion is empty. Clarity without courage is hollow. We need both. And here is perhaps the greatest lesson. You are stronger than you think, not because life will get easier, but because your mind can grow deeper. The storms may never stop, but your roots can reach so far into the soil that no wind can uproot you. The world will always bring storms. Sometimes they arrive as sudden losses, other times as silent worries that gnaw at us in the night. We cannot choose the weather of life, but we can choose how to walk through it. Stoicism shows us the warrior's path, to stand tall, to anchor ourselves in reason, to say, you cannot control me, world, for my mind is my own. Buddhism shows us the monk's path, to breathe deeply, to release what was never ours to hold, to whisper, peace is already here, if only I stopped clinging. And maybe the truth is not choosing one over the other. Maybe the strength we need is found in weaving them together. Courage with compassion, discipline with gentleness, resolve with release. So tonight, as you lie awake with your thoughts, ask yourself, will you grip tighter, or will you let go? Will you be the Stoic, the Buddhist, or perhaps both? If this journey spoke to you, share it with someone who needs strength, and leave a thought in the comments. And remember, subscribe for more wisdom, because the world may be chaotic, but together we can learn to walk calmly through the storm.